Welcome to our very first live show this semester. I am Elizabeth Hernandez and I am your new host, and I'm very excited. Today our story will be discussing about the LGBTQ plus community. Right now we'll take it to our commercial. Welcome back. We have Eric Yoke here. So can you please tell our viewers a little bit about you?
My name's Eric Yoke. I'm 23. I identify as a gay man, and on Morehead's campus, I'm one of the executive board members of Spectrum.
Okay, so can you tell us about what that organization is?
Absolutely. Spectrum used to be known as Alliance, and we've grown a lot past that from being just a support organization. And now we do a lot of advocacy work in terms of making sure that campus is more inclusive, and we wanted to make sure that everyone felt included under the Spectrum. So we came up with the name, and it seemed to fit, so we're pretty happy with that. And Morehead's first LGBT organization, so we have a lot to be proud of.
So how did this start? How many members do you guys have in that organization?
Regularly, we have about 25 to 30 that are active throughout the year. We can range anywhere from about 25 up. We've had as many as 70. So it's just all a matter of who all wants to be involved and who feels comfortable.
And what are some things the organization focuses on or does here on campus?
Some of the things that we do on campus, most known is probably our fall drag show, where we have people dress up in drag. They can be boy drag, girl drag, however they want, and they can perform, and it's a competition. And then we do things like our zombie walk. We partner with the art department for Rocky Horror Picture Show screenings, just a lot of things like that. And on our organizational side, in terms of advocating, we do things like working for gender-inclusive housing, gender-inclusive bathrooms, working on intersectionality, anything under the umbrella that we can handle.
And if you're comfortable sharing, are there people that come out and reach to you all about, hey, I have an issue about their gender?
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people go through whenever they come to college, and having that outlet like Spectrum, they do come and they discover themselves. We have people that started out saying, you know, I'm just an ally, and then they come back later and say, I've figured things out about myself, and I identify as something other than straight or something other than cisgender, and they discover that and they talk with us about it, and it builds that great communication and makes it more of a family there.
Oh, nice. So how did you become part of this? What got you to say, I want to join?
Well, whenever Spectrum was called Alliance and I was choosing colleges, it was actually one of the main reasons I chose Morehead, is because it has that outlet and it has that representation. And I started college and I got involved, and then I got on the executive board and in positions, and it made me just work that much harder and really made me feel at home.
Oh, that's nice. So how has it helped you, or how has it impacted you now? Did you just join this?
No, I've been in since 2011. I've been here a while, so having that growth within the organization was amazing and monumental for me. It's given me different perspectives on intersecting identities. It's given me checks on my privilege as a white cisgender person. I have a privilege that I can use to benefit others, and it's given me networking opportunities. I've been on the board of directors of national organizations because of this organization. And so it really makes someone feel counted.
Yeah. So in what ways does the university and this Spectrum help you and the rest of the community?
Well, we have a lot of students that will come to us and say, this is something that I feel like we're not getting, such as gender-inclusive bathrooms or gender-inclusive housing, or maybe the clinic isn't as well-versed in LGBT health issues as they could be. And we come to that and we will go to administration and say, these are issues that our students are experiencing and they need an outlet, they need that recognition and that representation. And so we build along that and we try to build that relationship to say that that's something we can use.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We will be right back with you, and we'll take a little break, and when we come back, we'll hear more about the spectrum.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Scotty Purnell. I've been here 9 years. We take the trash out of the buildings and put it in the garbage truck. In there, the chute is way up high on the wall where the trash comes out into the buggy. And you have to take a big iron hook, reach up and hook the trash, and it's falling down towards you. It's not a boring job. It's, you can get out and talk. We're always finding something very interesting. You never know what you're going to find in the trash. I like my job very much.
Welcome back. We have Sylvia Melantoni here, and she is our new field director, and we will be talking to her about our new segment.
So from now on, I'm going to have a new segment every show, and I'll be attending events and record around and interview people, so you guys can know a little bit more about what's going on in the community and more heading on campus. So that's it.
And
Hello, this is Sylvia, and I am at the first ever Pride Festival at Moorhead, and I'm going to be interviewing some people attending the festival. So let's get to it.
There are two transgender students in high school. Me and the other student is Dylan Scott. He just spoke up on the stage with a poem. And yes, the high school is not very... I go every day with discrimination, but I look at them, I call them an ignorant swine because it makes them think, and I tell them I forgive them because that's the only way you get past anything.
Can I ask you when and how did you know about your...
I've always been extremely girly. When you're born trans, I take it from a scientific method. It is chemical to me in my brain. Some people think it's emotional. It is emotional, but emotions are chemicals.
Is there something you would like to say to other people that didn't come out yet, or your students or friends?
Be a little afraid, because there's always going to be someone who's not going to like you. Be safe, have caution, but still be brave enough to come out, because there's always going to be someone there to support you, rather it's your family, friends, or just random strangers who are going to stand up for you and take the world on to protect you. Because no one can stop you for being who you are, and you cannot go on living unhappy because you'll just die that way.
My name is Matthew Frederick.
Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
I'm a gay man from Berea, Kentucky. We're up here as the Pride Education Project, promoting a Pride prom event in our community and for the region. I'm 28 years old. I'm married to my wonderful husband. We sort of co-founded this group together to promote rural resources for LGBTQ people and communities.
Do you feel like this project is helping a lot of people? Do they tell you? Do you have feedback?
I came to really fall in love with it as at events like this, people come up to you and say, this is my first Pride, and I'm just so happy to be here. I don't know what I'm doing, or, you know, and they come to you and they look to you for information or things, and it's really heartening. And also when people just come up to you and smile and just want to talk to you. And it's just really nice that we have events like this where we can build community.
Is there something you would like to say to people out there that maybe didn't come out yet or are struggling with difficulties and like difficult situations?
Well, I definitely say that the campaign is a true one. It does get better. You know, if things are bad, it does get better.
My name is Rachel Carney.
Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
I am 22 years old. I am a student here at Moorhead State. I have a girlfriend now she just asked me to be her girlfriend August 2nd, so it's pretty new.
Can you tell me if you feel comfortable, like how does MSU make you feel about your sexuality?
I come from like a town where it's really like not a thing to like announce your sexuality if you're something other than straight. But when I came to Moorhead, I just realized like everything is so open here, honestly. Like not a lot of people dog on you about it or anything like that, so I feel comfortable being myself.
That's awesome. And what about Pride, like the first Pride Festival in Moorhead? How do you feel about that? What does it mean to you?
That's awesome. I have honestly never been to a Pride, so I didn't know what to expect, or I'm just here and I'm excited. It's awesome, like all of these vendors set up and protesting that fairness is right.
Welcome back. Now we have Erin Long. Erin, could you please tell our viewers a little bit about you?
Yeah, well, my name's Erin. I am a junior, and I am an art education and theater education double major, and I'm the current president of the SAGE organization.
Okay. So could you please tell us a little bit about SAGE?
Of course. Well, SAGE is the Student Association for Gender Equality, so we're the feminist group on campus. And we just kind of strive to create like a welcoming environment for people of all gender identities and who may feel like marginalized. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. So what does SAGE do in the community?
We do a lot of documentary screenings. That's what we're working on this semester. We actually have one tonight. We are trying to do like a couple different like service projects with like the local domestic violence shelter, and various like workshops and panels about various feminist topics. Like I hope to do one that's kind of like an Feminism 101 kind of thing, hopefully like a sex ed panel. So all this stuff's like still in the works, so we're working on it right now.
So how is it more inclusive towards the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, one thing we do is we strive to be very mindful of pronouns. Like if at meetings when we are introducing ourselves, we kind of go around and we say include our pronouns and our gender pronouns. We of course avoid slurs towards any LGBT identity and other identities. We look at focusing on how feminist aspects can help different members of the like more marginalized gender identities that may not fit in the gender spectrum of either man or woman. It's like non-binary identities, and we focus, and also like how like lesbians and bi women are affected by both sexism and homophobia and biphobia.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll be right back with you, and we're going to take a commercial break. We are back, and we're continuing with Erin. So how has SAGE affected you and helped you?
Well, I first came to this campus. I was like into feminism, but I wasn't, like I kind of knew the basics, like very general aspects of feminism. and I heard there was a feminist club, so I was excited about that, and I joined my freshman year pretty quickly at like first meeting, and I was heavily involved like right from the get-go. Just kind of really helped me get more like educated about feminism and how to like I have these ideas, so what can I do with them instead of just like, I support abortion rights, but what am I going to do about it? So SAGE just kind of helps give me ideas about how to help with those aspects, and it's been really helpful to meet other young feminists that are like my age or pretty close to it, and like share ideas and just talk and like build relationships with other feminists.
And how has this affected you coming from maybe high school or maybe family background and coming here and having that support?
Well, I actually grew up in, relatively a pretty feminist family, especially for the Kentucky area. But it was just coming to college, just a lot more like academically kind of focused, or like more educated forms of feminism other than like what my parents have told me or what I heard in high school, or just various forms of media and such in high school. Yeah.
Okay. How do we hear about SAGE? How do we?
Well, we have a Facebook page that is Morehead State SAGE. And then we have a Facebook group that you can join. That's more so for members of the group, of the organization, just so we can like talk and make meetings. And that's Morehead SAGE as well. We have a Twitter, that is MSU SAGE.
So when does SAGE meet, and who's involved?
We meet at 5:30 in Radar 221 every Wednesday. We have a couple different people involved. There's myself. We have a couple of members on the e-board, and then a couple of people that are involved with this show, and just a couple people around on campus.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are now introducing a Emmett Chadwell segment video, and stay tuned for that.
My name is Emmett, I'm 16 years old, and I go by he, him pronouns. I prefer, if someone doesn't know my pronouns, to like politely ask me about it, and I really don't like when people go to other people and ask what my pronouns are, because a lot of the people at this school won't use he pronouns with me because it's a very transphobic area. So I prefer people to come to me and ask me. It's easier because like people, it's not as imprinted in their minds to see me as a girl if you come out earlier rather than later in life, but it's also a negative because people don't take me as seriously because of my age. So they think it's just a phase. My advice is to find a group of people that really, really love you and will accept you, and stick with them because they'll stand by you no matter what. And they really encouraged me to stand up for myself, and I started doing that and going by Emmett and he, him pronouns. And before you knew it, everybody was calling me it. They're the only reason I'm out right now and happy. Probably the only reason I'm alive, because if I would have stayed in the closet, I would have ended it. You can be a better ally by just standing with people who are trans. Like there's these kids in most of my classes that will make fun of me and stuff because I'm trans and call me she and she-male and all kinds of stuff. And there's people who will stand up and straight out go crazy on them. And it's pretty awesome, and it makes me feel better, and they stop. So allies have a ton of power.
We now have Theo Reed here. So could you please tell our viewers a little bit about you?
I am transgender. I identify as female to male. In technical terms, I identify as just a boy with that people don't see as a boy, mostly. So yeah.
So How is it explaining to others? Do you get questions?
Nobody believes me that I'm a boy because I do tend to wear makeup. I tend to wear very feminine things. I love wearing dresses because I don't have to wear pants. They'll ask me, why do you wear makeup and dresses if you want to be taken seriously as a boy? And my answer to that is everything is gender neutral. Cis boys can wear makeup, and they're often applauded for it, but whenever a trans boy does it, we're confused. And it's, yeah, I get a lot of comments about it.
So how did this begin? How did you start the process of knowing I want to dress like a female?
When I first figured out I was trans, it was only like 2 years ago. And I first started like dressing as masculinely as possible, and I realized that it made me really, like, it made me more miserable because makeup for me is therapeutic, and florals for me just make me feel really happy. So dressing masculinely didn't make me feel as good in my own body as I did wearing dresses and makeup and false eyelashes, and I'm addicted to lipstick. So like, it's just it's like how a cis boy finds out he's interested in NASCAR, or a girl figures out she likes softball. It's just exactly the same.
So roughly around what age were you?
It was like the middle of my senior year of high school. What had happened is I was one of the only 2 seniors on the academic team, and there was Mom, who was my best friend Haley, and then there was me, and I somehow ended up as Dad. And I realized that people calling me Dad, like as a joke, felt really great as opposed to Mom.
Right. Well, thank you. We'll come back with you, and we will be going into a short commercial. Welcome back. Hi, Theo. So we'll continue. So now coming into college, how has this changed?
Oh, it's been absolutely incredible because I have friends who came here from my high school who still knew me as my birth name, but for the first time ever in my freshman year, I got to introduce myself as Theo. I will never, ever forget that moment, and who I introduced myself to. I'll never forget getting to say, hi, my name is Theo. It's the most incredible feeling. Everybody here has been so accepting, and just college is now my escape because I'm not out to my family, so being here and getting to be called Theo and he, him, his, it's amazing.
So what would you tell people going through the same thing you are? What advice would you give them?
Find your family. Like I said, I came here and I first started going to Alliance, which is now Spectrum, and the e-board and Eric and everybody else in Alliance, they were so supportive and so wonderful, and I've met my best friends through there. I've met so many wonderful people. It's just you have to find a family who's willing to support you.
And what do you want people not in the transgender community to know?
We are not your stereotypes. We are not, well, in my case I am, but we are not just men in dresses and confused lesbians. We are not people we're not perverts, and we're not just trying to spy on children in bathrooms. And we don't have to conform to your idea of gender. We do not have to conform to, like, a trans man shouldn't have to dress as masculinely as possible to be taken seriously, and a trans woman shouldn't have to be as feminine as possible to be taken seriously.
And a little recap, how do we get a hold of Alliance, the Spectrum?
Spectrum. Our meetings are Tuesday at 7 in Breck 309. We welcome everybody. We are a very inclusive group. We have a Facebook page at Spectrum. You can find any of our e-board members. It's just the best way is to just come to the meetings and talk to us in person.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you coming and sharing your story. It means a lot. And thank you to our viewers, our producers, directors. We will welcome you back to next month at our new show talking about disabilities. So stay tuned.
Who are you to say you know, to say what's right, to say what goes? 'Cause deep inside, it's all that's me. And since you're not